Hello again, now it's time for Pokémon Black and White Adventures Unova and Beyond Episode 5 Review, The Island of Illusions. Continuing the journey through the Decalore Islands, ship comes through dense fogs as a massive Zoroark is above them. Passed through it, Porter and the crew did not notice it, though Ash, Iris, and Silent did. Ship docks at Gransbrook Hill Island. Ash, Iris, and out to find out what's going on with the strange prisoners in the shadows. Ash, Iris, and Silent set off. Chainlock is in the basket and set off to catch Pikachu. Meowth says the boss will tickle pink if they succeed. I've heard people use many phrases to describe Giovanni. Tickle pink is not one of them. Ash, Iris, and Silent stop by roads like gift shop information and what looks like a Snorlax comes stomping toward the counter. No, just a very fat and slow-sounding shopkeeper. He has a voice that says, "Tell me about the Bermuda again, George." Shopkeeper says the big Pokemon would have brought in tourists, as the island's pretty much a ghost town. Seriously, he reminds me of some of the people in town. Why do I get the feeling people in the future are all going to be morbidly obese like in Wall-E? Yes, I do can say how I've put on a bit of weight to stay in channel, and I'll listen back to manage the ballpark type of Star Trek 2 Shatner. Ash and Iris certainly saw a giant Zoroark, but then the shopkeeper tells us how someone did see a giant Pokemon before. Seriously, this guy reminds me of Jack Porkins before he got fried. The shopkeeper gives them directions to the island, and Silent grabs a map as they leave. Shopkeeper gets to mention the other details, but it goes back to his shop as the person before keeps walking. Seems the bridge is out to the island, but then Ty comes down the heavy way over. Chainlock is following them and spawning more quips like Pignite on a wing. They reach the island and set off. They start making their way through the forest, and then a giant Heatmore comes over the trees, causing a fire and all the Pokemon to flee. Like Chaos and Fungus bumps and Ash can use a Spore attack. Typical. Heatmore has him cornered on a cliff. Silent says Heatmore is outraged, and Iris says Heatmore can't use outrage, and Ash says something critical. Damn it, I'm a Pokemon trainer, not a game designer. Pikachu uses Thunderbolt, and nothing happened. Pikachu follows up with Electro Ball, and still nothing. Heatmore knocks Pikachu off the cliff, and Ash dives after them, catching him by the tail. Strange person comes up, and the Heatmore disappears in a puff of fog as there's a fire and everything else. Then they have to get access to a Pokemon Center. Chainlock is lost in the forest. He hears Meowth appears before them and roars. Chainlock runs for lives to the giant Meowth. The massive Meowth has him cornered on the cliff and looks at them. So that's where rejected Kaiju design from Pacific Rim go. Anyway, my theory is getting believed on Pacific Rim. I think go see it to make up for not giving me a chance to leave it to Roddick's grown-ups too. He's wrong because he's a bit more accepting of it. Team Rocket would know how to actually throw themselves off the cliff. Don't worry, the Wii U sales on that though. I've got plenty of games so we should get more people to buy one. Yeah, I plan to make a video on the Wii U and Nintendo situation. Anyway, Ash, Iris, and Silent lost in worlds but find a very rundown Pokemon Center. Maybe dilapidated, but as long as Iris can be healed, Iris is fine with it. Open the doors, and a bunch of Pokemon taking shelter inside. I run out. Why is it I'm expecting someone to come out during the time warp? Audino comes out, and Iris asks to seek Nurse Joy. Nurse Joy comes out and takes a look at Axio and throws out a pair of something with Spore. As Joy and Audino go through the revolving door process to get the medicine made, Ash, Iris, and Silent know something is amiss. Iris asks Nurse Joy about making medicine, she says Audino. That's pretty funky. Ash then starts asking back and forth to Nurse Joy and Audino. They come to the door at the sound of names, and Nurse Joy finally comes at the counter. Nurse Joy starts making the medicine, and Silent comments on how old-fashioned it is. Who cares, as long as it heals Axio? Iris feeds Axio the medicine, and Ash and Silent knows something amiss. No, it seems like a setup with Scooby-Doo. I think this is when the ghouls show up. Axio has recovered, and Ash approves of Nurse Joy. Then an older Nurse Joy comes in that is a Pokemon Center investigator. She's busting an illegal Pokemon Center. Yeah, how dare you heal the Pokemon that come into the area and only ask that they come back again in return. So the Pokemon Center closed 10 years ago because a few trainees came by. So, by that logic, the Pokemon laboratories, halfway housing near caves and mountains, namely your own mother's house, should stop rushing Pokemon if they don't drop by all the time. Anyway, the fake news story has been found out. Transports everyone to the past, where Zora was brought into the center. Turns out the same news story was when she was younger. She treated Zora and sent it back on its way. Memories are shared between travelers Pokemon, seeing their smiling faces that got them back. Then the trainers stopped coming and the Pokemon Center was shut down. The fake news story, much like the audience, is trying to hold back tears as she brings a memory of developing a Zoroark. So continue to place the island's Pokemon for protest, scaring the things they soil themselves. In a sense, Zoroark became the island's guardian, using solutions to the island's Pokemon. It's a very good story here. It's one of the most effective methods of handling the Pokemon since the movie it was featured in. Even so, Nurse Joy is not happy with keeping the Pokemon Center open, labeling it as a prank. Excuse me? Zoroark is telling the island's Pokemon to keep on saying posters. This isn't a prank, this is you embodying the massive traits of lawful stupid. Maybe the legal position closest enough, but it's not even close to being the right one. Of course, Iris knows what happened, and Axio was genuine, and Nurse Joy finally gets a message. Zoroark reveals herself, Nurse Joy agrees to reopen the Pokemon Center and tend to the wild Pokemon. So they could have renovated the Pokemon Center for its grand reopening. They have done it, and Zora can start out to kill the Pokemon. Ash, and Cyan then set off. This is a very nonsensical episode, but it was a lot of fun to watch and write about. Zora causing a lot of mischief and helping Alex Pokemon, the smooth and colorful animation, even the pudgy, and he smells like Shopkeeper made this a good way to forget about the last episode. It's a very enjoyable romp, especially because of how much I like Zoroark. My final rating is 3 stars out of 4. Best wishes is an ending in Japan on September 15th, and also when Legend of Korra is coming back. X and Y starts in Japan on October 16th, and Pokemon Origins airs in Japan on October 2nd. Pokemon X and Y come on October 12th, so I have just a smidgen over a month to get the over 3DS in the games. Also probably going to get at least 1 or 3 DS games to keep busy till they come out. See ya, Space Cowboy.